Hey folks, Philly Boy J back here with another video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make an Italian Philly style hoagie. Alright, a Philly hoagie. Here are the ingredients that you're going to need. You're going to need some sweet peppers, and you're also going to need some hot peppers. Okay, the sweet peppers are usually red, the hot peppers are usually yellow. You're going to need some sliced pickles. You can slice a big pickle up into small pieces if you like. You're going to need some mayonnaise. I recommend that you get Hellman's brand. It just tastes the best. You're going to need a tomato or a tomato. You're going to need an onion. I'm using the red onion just for decoration purposes. Here we have some red wine vinegar. We put that on our hoagies in Philly. And you're going to need some olive oil or vegetable oil. So make sure you have all of those ingredients. The seasonings that you're going to need to garnish the hoagie once it's done, to give it additional taste and flavor, is some pepper. You're going to need some oregano seasoning, and you're going to need just a little bit of salt. Don't add too much though. So make sure you have all of those seasonings. Alright. Now, you get whatever kind of roll you want. Just make sure it's a soft brand, Amoroso or an Italian roll. You're going to need some lettuce, iceberg shredded lettuce. The meats we're going to be putting in our hoagie is ham, capicola, salami, and we're going to be using provolone cheese. Now you can use American cheese if you like, but provolone just tastes so much better, and that's the way Italians make it. So if you're trying to make an Italian hoagie, you got to use the provolone cheese. All right folks, so yeah, make sure you have all four of them, and you're going to need 4 pieces each of each. Make sure you have a tomato, and with the tomato, I'm going to show you guys how to slice your tomato. You want to slice it up into really thin pieces. That's unless you like really big tomatoes in your hoagie. But you want to slice it into really thin pieces like this. Alright? You want to slice them really thin. That's the way the Italians slice them. They slice them into really thin pieces. Just like that. Okay? So, yeah. Make sure your tomatoes are thin. That's, again, unless you like really big chunky tomatoes on your hoagie, they should look like that, nice and thin, just like that right there. Okay? Also, you want to do the same thing with your onion. As you can see, I'm slicing my onion into really thin, fine pieces. Really fine and thin, just like that. Because onions and tomatoes are strong, and if they're too big, it's going to overwhelm the flavor and the taste of the hoagie. You ain't going to even be able to taste the meat. It's going to be so strong. All you going to taste is that strong onion. Alright, so you want your onions to look like that. Chop them up to really fine pieces like that. So, that's everything that you're going to need. We have our iceberg shredded lettuce, the pickles, the red onions, the tomatoes, the hot and sweet peppers. Okay, got your yellow and your red peppers. So make sure you have all of those vegetables. Those are the vegetables we're going to be putting in our hoagie. Here we have our hoagie roll. Now what they do in Philly is they chop off the ends. Usually they chop off the front and the back of the hoagie roll. So you're going to chop off the front part and then chop off the back. Okay? So that it has a flat ending. So you want your roll to look like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to split it down the middle. Now, you may see a white part of the roll. That's usually the bottom of the roll. So split the brown side down the middle, not the white side, but the brown side. Split that part down the middle. It really don't matter, but that's the way they do it. They usually split the side that's brown, not the side that's white. So you're going to spread it out like that. And now we're gonna get ready to add our ingredients, baby. We're gonna get ready to add the ingredients, add the mayo. And it's gonna be the best. I said the best Philly style hoagie that you ever tasted in your whole life. It's the best in the whole wide world. Don't nobody make an Italian hoagie from Philly like Philly Boy J. Don't nobody do it quite like him. I said I pay you to find somebody that do it like Philly Boy J. I pay you. I'll pay you. I said I'll pay you. I'll pay you. I'll pay you. So I spread it, the mayo onto the roll. Now we're going to add 4 slices of provolone cheese. That's our cheese there. And again, if you don't have provolone cheese, you can use American cheese, but for a real authentic Italian hoagie, you want to use provolone cheese. There we have our salami. That's what they usually add first. So add your 4 slices of salami. And by the way, you can add whatever kind of meat you want, but this is just the basic way to make a Philly style hoagie. Okay, now that right there is the capicola. Some people say capicola. They pronounce it all different types of ways. Now I did say you add 4 of each, but usually with the ham they only add 3. I noticed that at the delis they only add 3 pieces of ham. I don't know why that is, but yeah, you can add 3 pieces of ham. And for you people out there that don't eat pork, like I said, you can add whatever kind of meat you want to your hoagie. Okay, you can stuff it with whatever kind of meat you want. Honey ham, pepper ham, turkey. I personally love turkey hoagies, so you know, it's totally up to you. Add your iceberg shredded lettuce. That's what usually goes next. Don't add too much because you ain't gonna be able to bite the hoagie. You don't want the hoagie to be too big. Alright? And now what we're gonna add is we're gonna add our 4 slices of tomatoes. Don't that look so pretty, guys? Look at that. That is a beautiful hoagie. It look beautiful already. And I ain't even eat it yet and it look beautiful. Look at them tomatoes. That's a real hoagie, folks. A real Philly style hoagie. I keep saying Philly style hoagie as if they make hoagies anywhere else. That's the only place I think that make hoagies. You're going to add your onions, and then you're going to add your pickles. You want to add about 6 pickles, depending on how long your roll is. You can add less, you can add more. Those are your pickles. Then we're going to add the red sweet peppers. Give it a little sweetness. And then we're going to add the yellow hot peppers to give it a little hot spiciness. Okay, so that's what you add last. And then now we're going to garnish it with our seasonings. Alright, you're only going to use a little bit of salt. Do not use a lot of salt. You don't need a lot of salt. Alright, so use a little bit of salt. You're going to sprinkle a little bit of pepper onto the hoagie. And then you're going to add a little bit of oregano seasoning. That's what the Italians use. Now, if you don't have oregano seasoning, you can use Italian seasoning. That's what I've used when I didn't have oregano seasoning. And it actually tastes a little better to me. Alright. Then you're going to squirt just a little bit. And this is optional. Just a little bit of oil. Vegetable oil or olive oil. Just a little bit. Like 1/8 teaspoon. You really don't have to add that. Now this I would recommend that you add the vinegar, because they give it a nice taste, but add a little bit of that too, because you don't want that to make your hoagie really soggy. All that seeps down to the bottom. That's why a hoagie is something that you're supposed to eat immediately. If you let it sit, it's gonna get soggy, okay? Because you got all these kind of like wet, juicy ingredients. So you're gonna get a big knife and like push the middle down so that you can fit everything into the hoagie. And that's pretty much it, folks. There you go. You got your hoagie right there, your Philly style hoagie. I showed you guys how to make a Philly style cheesesteak, and now I showed you how to make a Philly Italian style hoagie. Split it down the middle. That's what they usually do. And guys, it was absolutely delicious. It was so freaking good. Look at that. Look at that. Don't it look good? Try this recipe out. Do it exactly as I say, guys. You are going to love it. And if you can't have ham, you know, okay, fine, put turkey in it or corned beef. I love corned beef personally, but you got to try this out. It is really, really good, folks. Really, really good recipe. And look, and you know hers chips, you only can find them in Philly. They only make them in Philly. What is a hoagie without hers chip? Oh, man, Philly food, man. Philly food, so good. And I'm just going to eat this up and tease y'all. Look at that. I'm going to take me a bite. I took me several bites. It was so good. Just juicy and so tasty and just... I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Philly Boy J. July 2015. Philly Italian hoagie recipe. See you soon.